What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Hitbox European Championship. The second best of three series of the day is coming your way, with Sqreen Squad going up against Yellow Submarine in what should be a really aggressive game, and you can see that by the Night Stalker first ban. This is, of course, on the Pro Dota English channel by Alpha Draft Steel Series and esportgaming.com. Be sure to check them all out and show them some love for showing us love. I'm Mikelorus, going to be joined by More Rage Please for at least a little bit of this series. You ready for this, man? It seems like the last one was a pretty good warm-up for what seems like it should be a equally aggressive game.
Yeah, some CIS Dota to say the least from both these sides. So it should be very interesting. Yes, when they formed as a roster, looked really good. As of recently, have looked a little bit shaky for my taste, but definitely do have the potential to roll with it and snowball if they're able to get a good start. Sqreen Squad, I think, a little bit more stable. Definitely the favorites in this one, but as you mentioned, with two teams as volatile as these, could go either way.
And well, Yellow Submarine with Tron, kind of a newer member, Wind X also as the newer player. Not really sure if he's official or if he's just been standing in for them, but Sqreen Squad definitely have probably a little bit more experience on their side. Just looking at their names, still not completely sure on 1, 2, 3. Been told many different things about who that guy actually is, so I'm not going to, not just gonna guess right now, but he's been around for a long time. If he is, what, some people are telling me he's Vigos, some people are saying he's not. I don't know.
I heard Vigos as well, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he fares with the team. But either way, some definitely stable, at least tier 2 players here. Necroman, ZXC, King R notably. Sqreen, of course, as well. So these players have played not only for a while, but played together for quite a bit as well. Some early aggression banned out, as you mentioned. Gyrocopter, Tusk, Night Stalker, all taken out of the pool. Leshrock, just because nobody wants to play against Leshrock right now. So first pick coming out for Yellow Sub here. Maybe look for something like the Queen of Pain for them. They don't mind running Lina time and time again. So either of those picks, it wouldn't be too surprising from me, and anything else really that's tailored to this meta.
Yeah, I think it should be safe to say Queen of Pain, Lina as the first picks. Maybe a Earthshaker first if they really value that highly, but no, it's going to be Lina. And now Sqreen Squad can get like Queen of Pain, Shaker. No, so close. Bounty Hunter instead. It was a hero that was banned out every single game of the last match. So Sqreen Squad and their classic aggressive style are going to be looking to snowball. And Bounty Hunter is the snowballing hero that you want, except for Tusk, who is also pretty good at snowballing.
Yeah, that Bounty Hunter definitely helps your lineup to scale throughout the game and keeps a constant source of income as long as you are making trades. They don't necessarily have to always be clearly favorable ones, as track can sometimes even that out for you. So I definitely like to pick up from Sqreen, and as you mentioned, was something that was highly given attention to in terms of the bans in the last series as Sparrow versus MY Insanity. So nice opening for Sqreen, stable opening for both sides. Yeah, we could look for something like an Earthshaker to come out for Yellow Sub here. It's definitely nice up against the Queen of Pain, can help the mid lane a little bit, be present for that Bounty Hunter, and help drop sentries and definitely secure some farm for this Lina.
It's probably going to be the safest pick that Yellow Submarine can grab, at least safe towards their mid lane. Alternatively, well, I guess, okay, well, maybe in the future, now looking for the Clockwork Darkseer type area, as both sides are lacking their offlaner. Not too uncommon that we see one of those two being picked up in the first phase, just to try to get that offlane dominance, or at least offlane safety in that lane. But they'll be fighting over it in this ban phase, and because Sqreen Squad have the first pick, Yellow Submarine have to make a couple more bans out. I would expect those to be banned out, but also you have to consider heroes like Winter Wyvern to be banned out. Any other support hero for Sqreen Squad who is able to hold the lane like a Rubik. So the bans are certainly plentiful for Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, Phantom Lancer ban comes out from Sqreen Squad. A little interesting from them. They have a decent way to deal with him thus far. Track pretty good against the PL, the Sonic Wave also against the Illusions, but not willing to fight up against that Diffusal Blade, or early Diffusal Blade, it seems. Darkseer going to be banned out, as you mentioned, and it has been something that teams have been favoring. Of course, it combos very nicely with both the LSA and the Echo Slam, so didn't want to pick it up for themselves. Combos well with the Sonic Wave. So maybe they go for something like the Clockwork here by virtue of banning out that Darkseer.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 has been playing that, at least for the last series that they played. He was on that for, I believe, 2 of the games. One of the games he was just like not needed because the rest of the teammates just got out of control. But he's a pretty capable player on the clockwork at the very least. So first of all, Lancer's gonna be banned out. Well, it really depends on what Sqreen Squad wants moving forward. Yellow Submarine have their mid lane, have one of their supports pretty much lined up. It is possible that we see Shaker and Lina both being played as supports. We have seen that in one of the matches of this tournament. I don't quite remember which one, but Lina Shaker as a roaming duo is one of the more dangerous ones that you could find. Stun to stun into a lot of damage.
Yeah, definitely. So there's certainly some flexibility here for Yellow Sub. They are going to ban out the Dusa, interestingly enough, from Sqreen Squad. So not sure exactly what that indicates. They are going to pick up the clock as we expected. Definitely a very good hero versus Earthshaker. Lots of mobility to Sqreen Squad's side. They have the Bounty Hunter to scout out for the initiations for both the clock and the Queen of Pain. So makes perfect sense. Medusa ban, a little bit of an interesting one for me.
Yeah, we did see one in this tournament so far, which is one more than you would ordinarily expect in such a small cup, but still, I'm pretty sure you could handle the Medusa. Like, if you are planning on playing things super aggressively with the Bounty Hunter tracking, with constant ganking, then Medusa really isn't that much of an issue.
Right.
You don't really have to play around her too much in the early stages because she simply doesn't do a whole lot. So not really sure where that ban actually fits in. If Yellow Submarine want to get a late game hero, they could grab an anti-mage and whatever, they'll be fine with that. But Sqreen Squad are the first ones to grab their offlane. It's the clockwork. What's going to go towards the offlane now for Yellow Submarine because they themselves banned out the Darkseer.
It'll be interesting to see that way. I mean, we could see something like a niche pick here for Yellow Sub. I know they run Huskar from time to time, but up against the pure damage of the Queen of Pain, really not a great pickup. Maybe something sort of a off lane, dual lane. Could see something like an Axe. He's pretty good up against the Queen of Pain. Axe Dazzle, Axe Omni, anything like that would be pretty nice. The early repel up against this aggression could be pretty good. And it will be a dual lane. It probably won't be in the off lane, but that's going to be the IO pickup for Yellow Submarine. Instant response with the Rubik from Sqreen Squad.
All right, so they just want to get their disables up, which currently before the IO pick, they didn't really have that many. They don't really need many for this game, but Yellow Submarine, most of the time, it's just going to be an instant tiny after an IO. Seems like that'll be reasonable, although you could probably get away with any IO partner in this particular game. Hell, even just like Bristleback, CK, which I'm always down for a CK. They're all viable at this point. They don't really need that much of anything. It's a Viper instead for Yellow Submarine. They are going to have a lot of sustain between these two heroes, but not as explosive as some of the other IO combinations.
Yeah, they could perhaps run the Viper mid and the Lina IO combo. Wouldn't be terrible. The mana sustain is very nice for her abilities, which are super spammable with the low cooldown. You're talking like 8 seconds on the Dragon Slave and 7 seconds on the LSA. So pretty good combo there. But yeah, definitely not one of the consummate IO partners that we see time and time again. Still lacking a safe laner for Sqreen Squad, it seems. Anything that stands out to you in the one position?
Not really. Up against a Viper who's just going to be generally tanky, you don't really have any huge picks that would be like, oh, just grab that and you're good against Viper. The rest of the heroes from Yellow Submarine are kind of fragile, and the rest of the Sqreen Squad side are a little bit more aggressively slanted. So getting someone like a Clinks who could actually just get onto this IO, realistically 2-3 shot him, seems pretty attractive for Sqreen Squad, but really it's any hero that could start fighting early should be on their radar.
I was thinking Slark, Clinks and Slark very much similar in their timing windows and what they're able to do with their escape ability. So Huskar ban does come out. As I mentioned, Yellow Submarine do run that pretty often. And they have the way to deal with it in the Sonic Wave, but a lot of everything else that they deal with, or that they're at their disposal for Sqreen Squad, is magical damage. So I think the Huskar ban is a warranted one here. IO Huskar not bad as well. Overcharge on Huskar does wonders, stacking up those searing arrows. The Clinks ban comes out, as you mentioned. I like the Slark pick here for Sqreen Squad. I feel like there's not enough for him that he's not able to Dark Pact off and jump out and regen on Yellow Sub side. So I feel like he could have free reign in this one, and also should do fairly well in the lane, even if they just put the Rubik there and roll that bounty around.
Yeah, if they do grab the Slark, then it'll pretty much be the draft that my Insanity would have liked to have in that last series. They did pretty well for themselves without getting their hands on it, but still, it's pretty much that typical aggressive playstyle where you're looking for the kills, looking for the towers afterwards, but kill, 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 never stop killing. And usually you're going to be okay with that. They have 20 seconds to make their decision for the Yellow Submarine side. They still have a lot of options. Earthshaker looks like he might be going towards the off lane now, actually. Like, they have IO +1. I don't know. They have so many combinations right now, but I don't really know if any combination that they choose is going to be truly better than Sqreen Squad's lanes, especially now with the Luna pickup. They just got so much more dangerous towards the Yellow Submarine heroes, for sure, but also these towers. The Yellow Submarine are going to struggle to defend.
Luna's all right here. I don't know how. I mean, the early aggression is nice. The push ability is nice as well. I don't know how effective the Eclipse will be. Probably a Yule's on the Lina, and eventually 4 points in corrosive skin will keep the Viper fairly healthy. But yeah, Luna definitely, much like the Clinks and Slark, pretty mobile and definitely cues some early aggression. So I don't mind that pickup from Sqreen Squad. We'll see what Yellow Submarine do with their lanes based on this last pick, and it will be an Ember Spirit coming out for Yes.
Again, this is not really the most explosive combination with the IO, but Ember Spirit, Viper, if you do manage to bring them into the fight, they will be able to have the guaranteed impact just by casting Viper Strike or by getting Searing Chains on some of the softer side of the Sqreen Squad heroes. Both sides are pretty soft, or at least they have heroes who are going to be susceptible to this high burst damage coming out from the Queen of Pain Luna, coming out from the Ember Spirit and the Lina, so the upside is certainly here for this pick. Sqreen Squad don't have a ton of CC either, so Necroman, if he gets off to a good start, gets a fast Orchid, yeah, he could certainly start wrecking people, but this Ember Spirit has a lot of upside, especially if he is going to get stacks and a lot of healing help from this IO.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Ember Spirit fares here. There's not like a unit strat gonna come out at any point for Sqreen Squad, so it's an interesting pickup, but definitely along with an IO can do a lot of work in the mid game. So we'll see if he's able to maximize his power curve. Either way, on the Radiant side, we have Yellow Submarine towards that bot lane. Windex going to be picking up the Lina Tron, going to be playing on the Viper Barrage on the Ember Spirit Kant on the IO, and finally towards that off lane, Miroshka on the Earthshaker.
And for the Sqreen Squad, Sqreen himself is going to be playing the Bounty Hunter already on the roam. We've got Necroman who's going to be playing the Queen of Pain, one of the more terrifying Queen of Pain players, if I do say so myself. King R is on the Rubik, also a super capable Rubik player. ZXE is on the Luna, that leaves 1, 2, 3 on the Clockwork. We've seen in Sqreen Squad's past games, King R stealing some insane skills. Stole Winter's Curse and Ice Blast, namely in different games, to pretty much win them fights out of nowhere. This time, Lina's kit, really good to steal. Earthshaker Fissure is aces, and whenever you spell steal from Viper, you are guaranteed to get a Viper Strike, so those are all pretty darn good to have on a Rubik.
Good thing for Sqreen Squad, one of the observer wards blocking the soft camp was denied up by Sqreen, so that's a nice early win for their safe lane, and should help them to keep the creep equilibrium back and starve out this Earthshaker, who already is not your most typical offlaner and just going to be able to maybe soak a bit of XP with that wave block.
We're going to see why the Earthshaker is not your most typical offlaner in just a little bit, I'm sure. Already with Rubik getting into a position to poke at him, Luna can do that pretty much by herself. Over towards mid, Barrage is going to try to Sleight of Fist dodge a Shadow Strike, but he's actually gone for Sleight of Fist level 1 in attempts to do that, so I guess you have some upside here in being able to spam that one kind of with an IO regenerating you behind, but yeah, this is a super long cooldown at level 1, and I don't really think it's going to be doing that much, unless he just keeps dodging those daggers, which is, I guess, possible.
Yeah, them putting this Earthshaker in the offlane and having IO allows the Bounty Hunter to roam around while the rest of Sqreen Squad's lanes are still secured, and so they should be able to accrue a pretty good advantage here on their Queen of Pain, albeit the IO will have some sustain, but Necroman just with an innate advantage until there's quite a few points up in that Flame Guard.
And Sqreen also going to start annoying this pseudo jungling IO hero. At least the stacking one. He's going to put down an Observer, which IO should know about. Has a Sentry at the ready, but then again, so does Bounty Hunter. So if the mid lane Necroman is going to get into a fist fight that he's not going to win. If the IO starts dewarding first, Bounty Hunter will have the last laugh with his own Sentry ward. So it's kind of a pull camp standoff as far as that is concerned. But mid lane definitely going to have the most action. Take a look at the other lanes right now. This Viper going just 1v1 versus the Clockwork is going to be a really heavily favored Viper lane, like 80-20, if not even better for the Viper. Adding Alina to that seems kind of unnecessary, but Tron should be farming happily on this bottom lane with no resistance at all.
Barash going to catch a Sleight of Fist Searing Chains onto Necroman, but it's only level 2 Searing Chains at this point, so not long enough to keep her held down, and she'll just back out, look to farm under the tower.
And then up towards top, the Earthshaker is going to get very little. Clockwork, we can already see, is starting to pull ahead versus the off-lane counterpart, but so far Sqreen, he's level 1, hasn't really been doing that much, has made this IO perhaps a little bit scared occasionally, but now that these sentries have been dropped, looks like the IO can, in theory, resume pulling. And Sqreen also not in a position to snipe this courier that's moving out. Could have maybe gotten away with that, but is instead going to start racing for the sentries, is going to win that race, and just like that, the IO is going to have more camps blocked. So yeah, it's a pull camp standoff. I guess it's a minor win for the Bounty Hunter, but still, he's not really doing that much. There aren't many lanes in this game where he can apply pressure except for mid, and well, the mid lane is the shortest lane. You're not going to be able to have much room to actually hit anyone there.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 forced out a salve, and that's the last of his regen bottom. So Tron been doing a great job of zoning him out. Has 20 CS topping the board on this Viper as well. So the laning decision thus far for Yellow Submarine seems to have worked out. Ember is not nearly as far behind as you would expect him to be up against a Queen of Pain at this point. 13-7 to the 11-3 of the Ember.
Queen of Pain's getting her bottle delivered right now, so it's a little bit late, but it's decent enough. And Ember Spirit really is getting a ton of help right now from this IO, and will continue to get a lot of help, actually. I don't think you're going to wait till Battle Fury necessarily before you go for those stacks, but just having that Flame Guard, just being able to use Sleight of Fist just to buy yourself a little bit of time where you can't be hit. And of course, you'll have that IO healing you from behind as well. So this stacking is definitely going to be troublesome. Once it can actually resume, of course, from the Yellow Submarine side. Looks like they did buy a little bit more detection to try to win that race. But yeah, across the board, bottom lane, mid lane, going really well. Top lane's the only one that's struggling, but even then, Shaker can do well. Barash going to find King R right now, taking a lot of damage from this IO. He has more bottle charges, but it will be the Ember Spirit to fall first. Now they're onto Miposhka. There's no blink on Necroman, not for another 11 seconds. So it looks like Shaker with the boost of speed should be able to get out of there, but they actually do run into this IO instead. He has a tether, which he will use to get all the way back to the mid lane, but Sqreen has a haste rune. He's going to die for this one, it looks like. I don't know if it's going to be easy, but with Necroman blinking in, it will be. It's a double kill for the Queen of Pain, and just like that, this pretty much stalemate game has slanted really heavily towards Sqreen squad.
Yeah, and Windex with a very defensively oriented TP south of the tower there was not able to be in range for an LSA after Necroman had the blink, level 1 blink on a pretty long cooldown there. So they find nothing for it. They have to rotate over the Lina. Very nicely played by King R there. He was able to blow the Flame Guard with his Fade Bolt, and then coming in with the Scream of Pain, Necroman was able to kill off Barash. So well played.
And now Necroman, he is level 6 5 minutes in, which is already really high for Queen of Pain, although getting 2 kills, you can understand why. This is versus the level 4 of the Ember Spirit, and he's gone for 2 points in Searing Chains, and because he's gone for the Sleight of Fist, doesn't have the double points in Flame Guard. You need every sort of magic resistance you can get as an Ember Spirit versus a Queen of Pain, especially an over-leveled Queen of Pain, and he will potentially struggle to deal with this burst that's soon to be coming out of Necroman, especially if Sqreen, or anyone else from Sqreen squad really, is able to help out. They're looking for Tron on this bottom lane, or at least Sqreen wants a little bit of experience, but it's actually top lane where they do get the lift up and kill on the Shaker. Eclipse available, but not used.
Yeah, well played, and that's Sqreen squad continuing to pull ahead here. Unfortunately, Bounty hasn't been involved in too many of these kills. He's still only sitting on level 2, but King R is level 4 at this point. Kant Wisp is only level 3, having been in that dual lane mid, and the offlane Earthshaker super poor, just now going to eclipse that level 3 mark.
We have another race for the top runes. Rubik is already there and waiting. However, it's going to be Queen of Pain to get chained down, and they actually do deny the rune. I didn't get a look at what it was, but Sonic Wave's going to catch onto 2, blow up the IO. Now they're onto Barrage. Gets another Sleight of Fist. Going to try to salve with the blink forward from Necroman. They should get this kill, and they will. In another 2 kill for the Sqreen squad. Both these heroes will TP out. Or at least, no, King R is struggling up against the TP. But Queen of Pain is going to get out of there safe and sound. Grab her power treads. And, well, I think it's time for Yellow Submarine to concede this top rune because it just has not been working out for them.
Yeah, King R has been making some great rotations, and he's going to have his spell steal very soon in this one. Some good stuff to steal, namely off the Viper and the Earthshaker. Very easy steals for him. Sqreen going to rotate over to the bot lane, look to soak up some experience. Needs to find that track for his squad as well. And they are seeming to roll at this point. Really, the only saving grace for the Radiant side is Tron is absolutely free farming. So it looks like he'll have Vlad's fairly soon. Oh no, he finished the Aquila before going into the mech.
Yeah, Vlad's on Viper. That's going into a whole nother level that I'm not even sure exists yet. But look at the net worth. I did not expect Ember Spirit to be getting this little. Like, he was doing just fine versus the Viper, versus the Queen of Pain, it seems, as far as trading hits, but not getting any CS. His pull camp has been spotted by the Clockwork. And at this point, if you're Necroman, you may just consider trying to jump over there, even give your life and a Sonic Wave away if you could take that stack away from Barrage, because this Ember Spirit has next to nothing.
Yeah, the early point in Sleight of Fists really hurt him, especially that first time towards the top rune. He only had that level 1 Flame Guard. The level 1 Fade Bolt blew it, and then the level 4 Scream hit him. 3 or 4 Scream at that point. So, yeah, the skill build is maybe a bit questionable. He has 360 MS, so should be able to get pretty close to the Queen of Pain. Sqreen got hit by a Spirit there, but no detection over on the Lina or the IO at this point.
Necroman's going to take the entire stack. That feels so bad right now if you're the Ember Spirit.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, he doesn't feel bad yet because he doesn't know about it, but soon the depression is going to set in, rest assured. And Queen of Pain didn't even need a Sonic Wave for that, since the flares were keeping the creeps kind of weak. And now they're actually going to rotate down towards the bottom lane with the whole mess of heroes. It's going to be Tron as their target right now. He's level 4 Corrosive, has Windex right behind him, as well as the heal from the IO. So killing this hero is very difficult, especially with Sqreen dropping so low. Sonic Wave's going to fly through onto 3. They do kill off that Viper in the end. Now they're going to blink forward for another Scream, going to grab an instant triple on Necroman. And with only Imposhka here, they're going to grab 4. Ember Spirit is sitting in the mid lane farming, but he's not farming nearly enough to make up for that disaster. Necroman is doing some serious damage right now, and it's only 840 in the game.
Yeah, the Queen of Pain is absolutely beasting. They try to focus out Sqreen there early on, but the Cogs actually pushed back the Bounty Hunter from 1, 2, 3, very nicely placed, and he was a little bit too far out of range. And they tried to spring a trap with everyone behind, but just not a quick enough reaction there. And they're able to bring down Tron. He doesn't have the full mech. And even with the treads and 4 levels in Corrosive Skin, just not taking enough, especially through that pure damage. Great Sonic Wave, from Necroman. And they even grab a tier 1 off at 9-1, 10 minutes in.
Yeah, Sqreen squads, or Yellow Submarine rather, their supports just aren't getting anything. Lina's pulled a couple of times. The IO has spent the entire early game making the stack that currently doesn't exist anymore. So that's why we see Sqreen squad at such a ridiculous advantage. For 10 minutes in, 5,000 gold, 4,000 experience is a lot of experience and a lot of advantage for the Sqreen squad, especially with their type of draft, with how they like to play, which is pretty much non-stop aggression. Oh, here's the depression you're gonna set in Barrage and the IO. You're gonna see just 2 stupid centaurs here, and soon they're gonna see a Panther Lady. That's definitely not what you want to see. IO Spirits not gonna spot him, and here there goes the Eclipse. She goes right between the Spirits. Now they're gonna try to go for this Ember Spirit. He does have a jump out. King R not quite close enough to get that lift up, but they also have Wind X and Tron coming in from the side. King R is gonna steal the Viper Strike, straight TP out. Barrage doesn't have vision, doesn't have chains. They get a pick off onto the Luna onto the right side of that fight. That's pretty good for Yellow Submarine, but Necroman, he's still in theory ready to go if they find an opening.
Yeah, they can definitely look to fight here. Windex a very squishy target mid lane, only boots of speed. Sqreen jumps in with a level 2 Shuriken, Scream of Pain. That should be a pretty much dead Lina at this point. Sqreen gonna maybe bait out for Windex to come forward a bit. Necroman just gonna force him out of lane with his presence for now, and everything gonna be stagnant. But this deep ward is giving them pretty good information on the positioning of the Radiant heroes, and they will see the Lina now looking to stack or finish off the stack.
It is worth noting that the Luna is the one to die there from the Sqreen squad, and she is worth quite a bit. Not as good for Yellow Submarine as killing, say, the Queen of Pain, but hey, it's Luna. You kill her off when you can get it, and it seems like ZXC just went a little bit too deep, a little bit too eager, perhaps, to use the Eclipse, knowing how devastating of a skill it is. You always want to use it whenever you can, but that's going just a little bit too far. Ember Spirit's remnants are being stolen by Rubik. Necroman gonna take a little bit of damage over in mid, but the levels just aren't there here for Yellow Submarine to actually get this kill, and Necroman has a regen rune, so he's more than happy to take that damage, back off, juice right back up to full, and then continue the fight. 2-10, and the scary thing is Sqreen squad haven't even hit level 6 yet on this Bounty Hunter. Once that happens, then the kill trades are gonna favor Sqreen squad by so much.
Still no relocate for quite a while on this Wisp as well. And with the King R Rubik doing so well, currently sitting 4th in net worth, he's got the triple Remnant Bomb as well if he wants to drop that mid lane. And it's basically a pseudo Blink Dagger for him, so that could be huge in the next engagement. They're going to find out the IO once again. The hook shot is there. Gonna go down. Can't catch a break. 0-5 already. Queen of Pain on the side, gonna pick off Windex as well. And Sqreen Squad rolling through this one. 12 kills in 12 minutes. Can definitely get an easy tier 1 mid if they look to find it.
They have the hook shot up. They still have the Remnant stolen on the Rubik for a long time. It's one of the more useful skills to use Rubik because you do get flexibility in when you initiate. As you said, it's kind of a blink, except it has a much lower cooldown if you have the spirits available, of course. They also have an Aghanim Scepter being really close to completion on Necroman. He's level 11 as the Queen of Pain, and Sqreen just picks up his track. So many kills on Sqreen Squad are just coincidentally lining up with their item timings and their skill timings. So yeah, for Yellow Submarine, they have a mechanism on the Viper. And that's nice if Viper is ever going to be focused, but as Sqreen Squad, you ignore the Viper. You don't need to focus him. He's not that much of a threat compared to how soft the rest of the Yellow Submarine heroes are. This Viper may be able to keep some of his allies alive with that mech, but yeah, I don't know. They're not really that durable.
Yeah, Sqreen rotating around looking to find who is bottom, and once he sees these two heroes, expect to jump on Barash mid. Barash going to be wisely backing off, though, knowing that he is tracked up. And the dust is going to be pop bottom. Sqreen, they found him with the spirits, and they should be able to chase him down here. Just trying to dodge an LSA. We'll be able... For good measure, the Laguna Blade is going to be dropped.
Pretty sure he could have just ran straight, and maybe he could have even gotten out of that, but... yeah, it's a kill for the Yellow Submarine side, and it's a decent one at that, since it is a level 6 bounty hunter. But you obviously want to do a little bit better. Killing off this Queen of Pain at this point is still going to give you so much, and the Luna as well. She has a Yasha close to completion. Yeah, no recipe just yet, but we do have King R still wandering around pretty aggressively through the enemy jungle. Will get out of there safe and sound. A little bit of karma there for the Ember Spirit, but Necroman, he has a haste rune. He's going to jump right over, look for the Courier. Sonic Wave does hit Couriers, but he doesn't have it for another 10 seconds, but it looks like the Courier wasn't... no, well, he is spotting the Queen of Pain now. He's actually going to wrap around where Sqreen and King are already going to take out the Io and the Lina shortly after. Now they're going to go towards Tron. Again, this is the tankiest hero, but Sonic Wave is just coming back online. That will cut through the Viper's health pool. Mech does come out, but it's not going to help him enough. Miposha is going to try to run out of there with the Ember Spirit, but it's a 2 for 3 in total, with Necroman collecting a couple of those kills. Actually, not a terrible fight there for Yellow Submarine. They do get quite a bit of gold, but still, they're not dealing with this Queen of Pain.
Yeah, and even Luna wasn't really involved much, so ZXC farming pretty well towards that. Yasha is going to have it as soon as he'd like, and looks like it's going to go for that same kind of build, Aquila, Drums, S, and Y. Going to be very survivable in this early game and the mid game. Trying to find some XP top lane for that relocate. Still doesn't even have an urn available, needs another Gauntlet of Strength for that, and is only level 5, super poor on this Wisp, and that is kind of indicative of just how the mid lane in general for them. Meanwhile, on the Earthshaker, they're still quite a ways away from that Blink Dagger, so really no progression to speak of that we already haven't on the Radiant side.
And for the Ember Spirit, he's not even at Drums yet. It's 15 minutes in. At this point, you would expect phase Drums, and then starting to build towards the Battle Fury. A sword, starting to go for Perseverance, something around those lines, but instead, he's really just struggling to get any sort of farm up, and it doesn't seem like he's going to be getting any kills anytime soon, just by how Sqreen Squad have been playing. So how does this Ember Spirit actually recover? He's going to need so much extra time. He's going to need for Sqreen Squad to randomly stop playing aggressively, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Sqreen, he's being spotted out right now. Dust and Sentries once again on the run. This is a chance for Ember Spirit to get some gold, but Sqreen's going to turn around for the track. He will give his life. And, well, it's Bounty Hunter again to just be spotted out by this IO's spirits.
Yeah, it'll almost give the IO relocate, which is a pretty big deal for Yes, albeit they do have some very mobile heroes for Sqreen Squad, so they are going to have to jump and get some Earthshaker chains done into the Lina in order to make a relocate effective. Mass TPs are happening towards this bottom lane as I try to defend the tier 2 up versus 1, 2, 3, and Necroman. Fisher will be there, lands onto 1, 2, 3. Viper Strike is there as well. He's actually going to whiff the hook shot towards his allied Queen of Pain and will drop here. Sonic Wave through 2 though, and the Fade Bolt gonna finish off the Wisp. Mech gonna be a little bit too late from Tron. Tron in a little bit of trouble now. Blink is not there in time. The Echo Slam comes through with the Enchant Totem. One more right click will be disjointed, but the Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains from Barash on the north side bring down Necroman. That's a godlike streak. 1,000 gold going towards the Ember. You're asking how he was going to get back into this one, and it seems like a little bit of throw from the other side might help him out.
You take that opportunity for a 3-man Sonic Wave, but you need more follow-up than a Clockwork who already has to retreat because he has no hook shot, and, well, a awkward Rubik there. He has stolen the Fissure, which is a really great skill for King Arthur to steal, and we just saw why he landed a 3-man there, but that's when you need the Eclipse. That's when you at least need Track to make those kills more appealing, but Queen of Pain dying there is big game there for the yellow Submarine side, and it's just Sqreen Squad getting a little bit too aggressive, which is sometimes what happens with these types of teams. Sqreen Squad, haven't seen enough of them to know how characteristically they get over-aggressive, but they have to make sure that that doesn't happen. It's very easy to avoid, but it's also very easy to fall into that trap. It's also very easy to take down the Luna in the mid lane, where Luna is just going to beam her down after that Fade Bolt bounce to her. So another free kill for Sqreen Squad there. Luna looks like she's going to go for an S&Y and Helm of the Dominator at the same time. Again, she's building pretty much like a gyrocopter, so yeah, they thought it was banned out, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, Luna definitely serving the same kind of purpose here. Nice Fisher Fade Bolt combo there from King R. King R has been playing very well on this Rubik, as you mentioned early on, as he tends to do. He's picked up a full Glimmer Cape of his own, so look for him to be able to sustain himself in fights and steal a couple of influential spells. Speaking of fights, Smoke Up coming out from Sqreen Squad, maybe looking to bait out this rune here. No, they'll pick it up for their Queen of Pain and look to find something top lane. Barash is scouted out, trying to take down the Bounty Hunter, but they will be able to hook in towards that offlane Earthshaker. They'll bring him down before he gets a single spell off, and Barash, still in trouble here, is going to be able to remnant out all the way towards mid lane. The other side even pings him out his location, so they know that this tier 1 is free to take down.
It's still a kill going the way of Sqreen Squad. It looks like there was no track actually used, which is a kind of shame considering how free of a kill it was, but still they're going to have that kill, so no Fissure to worry about, no Echo Slam either, and a free tower is going to be claimed, and it looks like Yellow Submarine, they're going to look for a trade in the mid, but they just don't do enough damage with TPs coming in, with rotations from the north and the Queen of Pain, and the Clockwork still sticking around up towards top. Yellow Submarine, they have to fall back, and luckily for them, they'll get away with no casualties, but Sqreen Squad, if they could keep making those safe ganks using their overwhelming numbers, try to catch Yellow Submarine off guard, get some track kills, then that'll be the most foolproof way of getting more ahead in this game. Like, if you fight with small teams, you can get really far ahead, but you could also drop a couple heroes and then end up losing your advantage. So this is the safest way for Sqreen Squad to play.
Yeah, and there's still no one that's doing a scary amount of damage from the side of Yes. I mean, we see the Viper pick up the Midas now, so maybe looking to at least gain a level advantage and consistently have that income there for him to pick up some more damage items. But I mean, right now I don't mind Sqreen just balling up completely. They picked up the full, or they will pick up the full S&Y here momentarily after bringing down this tier 2, and Necroman being as far ahead as they are, can definitely look to continue to assert pressure across the map.
They're not even losing that much while this is happening. They put so many heroes in the bottom lane. Usually you lose a tower or something if you're going to be committing that many heroes, but instead Yellow Submarine, they try to go for mid lane, end up falling just short, 160 HP off of that tower destruction. Now Sqreen Squad, they're grouping up as if they want to go for Roshan. Necroman, I think, did spot this courier flying out, but it looks like instead they're going to consolidate their heroes and go for that double life. This is going to enable Sqreen Squad to again continue onwards with this 5-man death ball style that they clearly are going to favor for the upcoming minutes. This time Yellow Submarine, though, they want to fight. They have a Blink Dagger on Shaker. Somehow he found enough gold for that. Sqreen is going to blow the smoke right now, and he sees everybody with the tracks already starting to fly. Sqreen Squad will disengage cleanly from the pit, although Sqreen rather, will get Lagooned and brought down. Windex going to take a beam right now as the IO does relocate in, I think. The Luna still is holding on to a level 2 Eclipse right now, and that represents pretty much an insta-kill on someone, but the rest of Sqreen Squad, they're all really separated. In fact, Necroman, he's going towards the bottom lane. Yellow Submarine have stopped the Roshan, but they can't really afford to stick around here forever. Sqreen Squad may be able to just slide right back in and continue.
Yeah, they do have the remnants in the pit, so they'll be well aware of it if that's the case. But yeah, as you mentioned, I'm not sure if they're really willing to fight it. They still do have that Blink Echo. I don't know if that was revealed in the last engagement.
Probably was. They walked into the Observer.
Either way, Sqreen gonna throw out a Shuriken, and they will have the Ember to rotate out towards that pit. The remnants, once again, seems like we're stolen from King R, and he looks to give chase or at least to force them out, and maybe now the Roshan attempt can be committed from Sqreen Squad. They're pretty well aware that most of the Radiant side have backed off.
And because they also force out the Ember Spear from the mid lane, he's not with the remnants in the Roshan pit anymore. Yellow Submarine, they should know what's going on because, well, I mean, Sqreen Squad clearly want to go for this Roche. But again, can they do anything about it? Because Shaker's Blink Dagger surprise is revealed. Sqreen is back up, and they're going to smoke up once again. It was, I don't think, an Observer range. Looking for the Blink Echo. Rubik's going to gather. Blink Echo going to connect onto the Luna. They bring her down immediately. Necroman dropping pretty low as well. Is able to get the Sonic Wave off probably, but it's being chain stunned. Blink out from Necroman. They've lost 2 for 1 so far. Sqreen Squad has to make their retreat. Sqreen is going to hit with the Viper Strike, and he should tick down to that one. He will. Big initiation there from Yellow Submarine, and Sqreen Squad should have probably seen that one coming. Instead, now they have to make some sort of weird Roshan crashing attempt. Queen of Pain grabs an Orchid, is going to think about jumping in, does jump in. Sonic Wave is going to kill off the Dire. Aegis still on the deck. Viper does grab it, and Queen of Pain gets a couple of kills from that one, but Viper grabs a triple, and now it's double life. They're all said and done. Suddenly, this game is looking a lot more even. Maybe is even starting to favor Yellow Submarine.
Yes, looking certainly a lot better than they did a couple of minutes ago. And the Midas seems to have been paying off for Tron here. It's level 15 on the Viper, which is the highest in the game, with alongside that Queen of Pain. Bringing down the Roshan is pretty nice for the Dire side, but yeah, feeding over your Queen of Pain, who's worth a lot at this point, 11 and 2. I'm not sure if it's worth it, especially considering the Aegis goes to the Radiant side as well. Barash has picked up a Crystallis, so he is hitting, albeit not extremely hard. At this point, it is something fairly significant. So things looking better and better for Yes, and definitely a good engagement there. The I guess quasi-reveal of that Blink Dagger for the Earthshaker definitely pays off, and now he picks up a Force Staff on top of it.
That fight would have been so much more different if Sqreen Squad just... I mean, they should have seen that one coming, as I said before. But also, ZXC decided to go for all these small basic items and is going to heavily delay his BKB because of it. If he had that item up, then he would have been able to get the Eclipse off. And in that sort of close quarters scenario, Eclipse is one of the scariest skills in the game. And Yellow Submarine probably wouldn't have gotten nearly as much as they just did, but able to burst down this Luna before she can get anything off. She ate the entirety of the Shaker combo, and there's no one that Sqreen Squad have that's able to save the Luna. They use Glimmer on Necroman because that's the only one who is still alive, but man, this Luna needs to get this BKB up so badly, but there's probably not going to be another opportunity like that for this Luna. Yeah, BKB on the hero is always going to be good, but not that good.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, that Roche pit fight could have gone a lot different. They forced out Necroman early as well, and he's not even able to use the Sonic Wave. So you mentioned it, Eclipse great around the pit, Sonic Wave much the same, and 2 big ultimates denied from Sqreen Squads there. So a bit of mispositioning and a little bit of a poor game sense from them. Relocate bottom is going to come in, and it won't even be needed onto 1, 2, 3, who's going to be initiated on and brought down, starting off with that Miroshka Fisher.
And now they're going to go for the tier 1 tower. Sqreen Squad probably can still race if Luna was right there as soon as the push started. But instead, it should be Tron's Nether Toxin to take this tower before Sqreen Squad are able to take the tier 2. Although it is going to be fairly close. I don't think Yellow Submarine can teleport back and defend. In fact, no, Viper doesn't even have a TP, so they're pretty much committed to this. And Sqreen Squad should know about this. Tower's going to stay alive at 5 HP. Not for long, however, as Sqreen's going to start throwing out those tracks. But bottom lane still... It looks like Yellow Submarine want to go for this. They have TPs back in theory, but they're just going to put as much damage as they can into this tier 2 and then fall back after knowing that they forced a couple of TPs. So it's not a terrible trade for the Yellow Submarine side, but this is where they still them with Aegis. They want to be looking for a large-scale fight because, again, their Shaker has another Echo Slam.
Sqreen gonna spot out the Earthshaker, has really no kill potential on him. He's tanky enough and does have the Force Staff to get up to the cliff. Will blink and reconvene with his team in the jungle. There is not a smoke on the lineup currently, and Necroman gonna jump into a world of hurt and gets brought down with the Laguna Blade there. Jumps into 4 kind of blindly, no vision there, and you can see his frustration drawing all over the map. the location of the Radiant side. But yeah, Necroman after a 9-0 start, now 11-3. It's looked a little bit shaky in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I wasn't even watching there because why would you make that play? It seems like Necroman getting caught a little bit off guard, and now the Yellow Submarine push is going to continue. Screen Squad, they don't have ZXC in a position to defend. In fact, this Luna does not have a TP scroll. What is with all these heroes and not having TPs? It's so uncharacteristic, but it's going to be a tier 2 to fall for Yellow Submarine, and they should be able to defend. Screen Squad have no Queen of Pain in the mid lane, nor do they have their Rubik, so a Dagon actually on the Bounty Hunter. This is a pretty much trademark aggressive style coming out from Screen Squad, but I don't think at this point this is really what you want to be doing. Can he even kill off the IO? He has a Glimmer Cape.
Yeah, he's gonna need a little bit more burst than this Dagon Shuriken toss. So, I mean, I don't mind. I don't ever mind the pickup versus an IO on the Bounty Hunter, but it is a little bit of an all-in build. It doesn't allow you to scale extremely well against the Viper, and the Ember Spirit is more or less mute. So yeah, it's risky to say the least, and it is going to bank on him being able to bring down that IO very early in these fights. So feast or famine for the BH. I feel like if he does pull it off, then that should bode well for the team fight. Elsewhere, not much in the way of item progression. I mean, the Orchid came out even before that jump into the pit from Necroman's Queen of Pain. The BKB is now available 10 seconds, though, for the Luna, so maybe look for them to fight off the back of that pickup.
Screen Squad haven't found a pickoff in quite a long time, and because of that lack of pickoffs, that means Yellow Submarine are just farming that much more comfortably. Force Staff now up on Shaker in combination with that Blink Dagger. Lina doesn't have a ton, probably buying all of the detection. It's the cost is definitely going to add up there, but Yellow Submarine are actually in a decent shape right now. If they're going to get into a team fight, they don't have the Battle Fury on the Ember Spirit. He has gone for the Chrysalis. It's not too late for a Battle Fury, I guess, but it seems like he just wants to get that Daedalus up. And Screen Squad haven't taken a pickoff, nor have they taken a really full-scale engagement with the Clockwork to initiate. In fact, I don't even know how many hookshots have been thrown this game. It seems like only like 2 or 3 have been thrown and have connected.
Yeah. I can recall 2, and then the one bot lane that missed from his ally. So, yeah, Clockwork hasn't really been the linchpin for this lineup as we've seen him be for Aspera the last couple games, and even for MYI. But winning both game 2 and 3. So the Aegis is now about to expire for Yes, and they were able to take a couple of towers off it in the off lane, but maybe just going to look to sit back and farm up their Ember a little bit more before getting into any of these engagements. They're only 10 gold away from that full BKB on the Viper as well.
And Viper's going to be hitting pretty hard because he has also picked up the Sanjin Yasha. And remember, the Hand of Midas attack speed, also relevant on a hero that has Nether Toxin. So this Viper is going to be hitting hard, and it's not really going to be a hero that Screen Squad can easily ignore, nor is it going to be a hero that they can easily deal with. The Sonic Wave will still cut through. This is a level 3 Sonic Wave with Aghanim Scepter. That's a lot of pure damage. But Luna at this point, I don't think can effectively deal with the Viper, especially if she does get Viper struck, which does cut through the BKB. So this Luna needs, I feel like, a lot more right now. The Viper is leading in net worth by 2,000. It just doesn't really feel like it versus this Luna.
Yeah, it's just wondering how Screen Squad can really look to assert their dominance. I feel like it was just a bit of unfortunate timing. They got their Rubik up to that level 6 really quick and were able to net a lot of kills, but it was all kind of before track came out for the Bounty Hunter. I want to say there's definitely less than 5 track kills thus far out of the 20 for Screen Squad, so a little unfortunate for them. They need to get him a little bit more active, and yeah, as you mentioned, the Clockwork hasn't done much. Maybe just get a gank squad going, Necroman, Screen, alongside 1-2-3's Clock, and try and find some picks on these squishier targets. I mean, Lina is nowhere near a Yule's, so that's probably one of the better targets to find out.
Submarine have been grouping up quite a bit, which is going to make it a lot more difficult for them to, or Screen Squad rather, to find these small-scale ambush ganks. The Bounty Hunter's been looking for those openings, but every single time he's tried, he's been dusted up and brought down because the IO Spirits have been finding him. It seems like Screen Squad are going to gear up for a smoke right now. But if they do smoke, if you look at the positioning from Yellow Submarine, they're all pretty much right next to each other. So it's very possible for them to reinforce if they even do get caught out, if they're even needed. Screen Squad are going to go into this enemy jungle. They need to go towards mid lane, though. I'm not sure if they're going to head that way.
Yeah, seems like it could be a pretty dicey situation. Barash is fairly well positioned though, and does have a remnant up at this point to the south. So looks like no one really in any immediate danger, and he won't even be able to pop the smoke, unfortunately, though, for the Ember Spirit. Top lane, though, they're going to run into Tron. He has a full BKB. He's going to be telekinesed up. Sonic Wave, not even going to waste it. The relocate save is there, though. Hookshot forward is going to find Barash, but they're not going to be able to cog him up. He'll be able to remnant back, but the Eclipse doing so much work. Scream of Pain brings him down as well. Tron trying to come back in with the BKB. Everyone trying to TP out. They will be able to cancel one of them. Windex is going to make it out. Miroshka not going to be so lucky. 2-0. Going Sqreen Squad's way, and they finally are able to find a favorable engagement. Tron gonna look to battle up against ZXC, and he's in a lot of trouble now. Huge amount of attack speed on this Viper. The Glimmer Cape gonna keep him up. Will he tick out? He will be able to survive. Jump forward, Echo Slam with the buyback. Fisher on 2. They bring down the Queen of Pain. Sqreen is able to get invisible, but he's dusted up, and they should be able to chase him down here. Blink Dagger, one more right click available to the Earthshaker fairly soon, and it'll come through. Dragon Slave even there from Windex to bring him down, and buyback comes out from the Earthshaker, but overall not too bad for Yellow Submarine as they bring down both the Queen of Pain and the Luna.
Totally worth it for the Shaker to make that play. That Echo Slam actually did end up chasing down the Luna. It was just on the edge of the effective Echo Slam range, and Luna got away with like 10 HP or whatever. You'd hit her with anything and she dies, and it was the Echo Slam damage that did it, which is something we don't see every day. But hey, Luna's going to go down regardless of that fact. This is probably still going to favor Sqreen Squad. I mean, they do force out the buyback, which is always going to favor your team, and there were also quite a few snipes there with the track, so Bounty Hunter got a lot of extra cash for the Sqreen Squad side. But Yellow Submarine actually putting up a decent fight. That relocate definitely saving their ass there. That saved Tron for just a little while longer, got a lot more damage out, and wasted a good amount of time for the Luna's BKB, where she had to use it to try to get into the fight instead of just stand and actually right-click things. So big relocate coming in from the Yellow Submarine side, and Sqreen Squad with probably just didn't realize that the IO was in that tree, because you see a Viper like that, most of the time it's just going to be a free snipe.
Yeah, interesting. They go for that smoke with the full Sanjin Yasha in base for the Luna. She only had the Yasha on her at the time, so maybe she survives from the Viper after she got away with 10 HP and isn't killed off by that Echo Slam reverberation. But either way, definitely a nice fight put up there by Yes, and they're still well within, this game is still well within their grasp.
Yeah, they're actually favored right now in the net worth and experience. So Sqreen Squad's late game is still pretty terrifying when you have track. It is always going to be relevant. Obviously, you would like it to be relevant earlier rather than later, but the Ember Spirit is hitting pretty hard now. Viper is a hero that does typically tend to fall off, and Queen of Pain, I guess similar things can be said about her, but ZXC's late game potential has really yet to be tapped into. Sanjin Yasha, Drum of Endurance, these are items that can be replaced down the line as well, so Luna has a long way to go if we do actually end up in that super late game stage. We have another Roshan to respawn. Necroman is going to get right into that with a double damage rune. Now ZXC is going to try to join as well. It's going to be now spotted by the Ember Spirit. And this is not something that Sqreen Squad should be doing, because last time it didn't really work so well, and this time they don't even have any wards up.
Yeah, they don't have vision is definitely the key point. They do have the BKBs this time, but Tron going to jump in. The hook shot in the backlines is going to connect onto Windex. He's going to get low. The Blade Mail will be there, but the Glimmer Cape keeps him alive for now. The Eclipse doing a whole lot of nothing. Tron the only target there with a BKB up. Backlines, Necroman will pick off Windex, but he's going to be Sleight of Fist, Searing Chained up, and Enchant Totem. The Queen of Pain goes down. Ends up being a 2-for-2, 2 supports for the Bounty Hunter and the Queen of Pain. King R going to be chased down here. The Fisher is there. He's trying to run back to the west, but he will be caught out. Glimmer Cape duration not long enough. Gets off a glancing blow before dying with the Fisher there, but this will be a Roshan going the way of Yellow Submarine.
Fantastic positioning there from Yellow Submarine. As you said, the only hero that the Eclipse could have possibly hit was the Viper, and he had a BKB. ZXC, though, he's sitting right in the middle with an Invis rune. He's getting cleaved by Barash a little bit. He's looking for the Aegis. Not going to get it. That was a little bit unfortunate. Maybe he's going to get... What did he get? Like a TP scroll or something? Yeah, that'll show him. Nice snipe by the Luna. But yeah, the Luna's Eclipse did zero damage because of the BKB on the Viper. And if somehow you can make that happen every single time for Yellow Submarine, you're going to be happy. But everyone cleanly disengaged from the initial start of that fight. Sqreen was picked off super early on by, I believe, just the Ember Spirit by himself. Not really sure how that went down, but with no tracks available, Sqreen Squad, even if they did take an even fight, which they didn't, it wasn't even possible. So 2025 and Yellow Submarine taking yet another fantastic fight, and now with the double life on their Viper, who's clearly doing a lot of damage, and clearly the Ember Spirit starting to do a lot of damage as well. They can even start to look for these objectives. Sqreen Squad can no longer play aggressively unless they somehow find a miracle fight, and that'll involve clockwork, hookshotting, and killing off someone a little bit more relevant than the Lina.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back to the Orchid pickup from the Queen of Pain. I feel like it's been extremely ineffective in these fights thus far. Maybe an earlier BKB could have helped her out. She's still trying to complete that 33 minutes in and is about 800 gold off of it at this point. So I don't know if that was the right decision, especially after rushing the Aghanims, but either way, as Yellow Submarine looking very steady in these fights, that they're able to, as you mentioned, position the rest of their squad around the Viper, keep him in the front lines, force him to be the one to soak up the damage, and they've been faring very well. Track going to be thrown out mid lane, but don't think they can contest this tier 2. Defend this tier 2, I should say, for the Sqreen Squad, and Tron going to jump up just in the front lines and bring that down with ease.
That Viper positioning is always, in theory, what you should be doing with a Viper, but it's always so hard to actually do it in practicality. Oh, Sqreen, he's going to get caught out again. Really wanted the track out on the IO. Mission success, but at what cost? Sqreen now dead for another 40 seconds, and just like that, the push is going to continue. Pretty sure Yellow Submarine were going to fall back after taking that tier 2 tower, maybe started to push up towards the top lane, but instead they're just going to keep going for more. King R is going to get fissured. He won't be able to steal it either. Tron, still with the Viper Strike available, is going to be getting hit occasionally by some of these skills, but King R is going to get slighted off to the right, still alive, still really tanky actually, especially for a Rubik hero. Blink Echo Slam onto ZXC. They'll try to burst down the Luna before the BKB, and they do get it. Sonic Wave's gonna fly through on everyone with the cogs going up as well. Viper though, he has his BKB. He's gonna pop it and just go right to town Necroman. ZXC is gonna force the buyback. Eclipse is finally up, but it's not doing anything because there's so many creeps here. They also relocate out the Viper. He's going to get all the way back to the fountain, and the Sleight of Fist is still flying everywhere from Barrage. Sqreen Squad have everyone alive, but they don't have any of their big tools left. They're going to put up some cogs. Viper, though, maybe recurring. No, it's just going to be the IO. He's going to try to glimmer out. Is there someone to tether to? There's absolutely nothing to tether to, so the IO will give his life. They forced out a buyback on the Luna. That is super expensive for Sqreen Squad.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like they got nearly enough out of that defense for that buyback to be worth it. And there's no structural damage. I mean, they take 3/4 of the HP of the tier 3 away, but they lose relatively nothing for it. They still have an Aegis up onto Tron for another 2 minutes, so they can reset and march back down this lane if Sqreen Squad don't push it out quick enough. Everything looking great thus far for Yellow Submarine, and all their core items are pretty much up at this point. You saw the Aghanims do some work there for Windex. They're able to burst down that Luna's first life before the BKB come up, and that is really crucial to their ability to fight. Some great play from the Earthshaker all around this game.
It should be about a minute of uptime where Yellow Submarine have all their heroes ready to fight, and they still have the Aegis. It's a very, very narrow timing window, but even without the Aegis, I feel like Tron's tank ability and the amount of threat that he's putting out is going to be, enough for Yellow Submarine to at least try to make this play happen, because I don't see them getting completely cleaned up. They have another relocate from the IO, so even if they do lose the Aegis, just yank Tron out, and as long as Barrage keeps throwing out those slides of fists, you're going to be golden. Down towards bottom, it looks like Sqreen Squad are going to try to start split pushing, but it's a little bit too late because now they actually have to reconsolidate their heroes over in mid. The Sleight of Fist is going to catch Sqreen as their dust. There is a blind Dragon Slave. Sqreen dropping pretty low. Now the tower will fall. Tron still with that BKB, and King R with another Slight going to get dropped even lower. And they have another Blink Echo with the Laguna Blade, so if they want to make that exact same play again onto this Luna, they clearly do have enough damage to kill her off, and this time she has no buyback. They're going to instead find on the south end. It's going to be 1-2-3, looking for a wraparound. Clockwork down with buyback, fortunately for him, but Sqreen also going to get caught with the Viper Strike, dropping pretty low. He will get glimmered, so he might not die here, but they do force out the BKB super early from ZXC. Now they just fall back, wait till the BKB is done, then reinitiate, or Tron can just go into it because he feels good. Sure, why not? They dust up. They see where the Queen of Pain is off to the left, but Sqreen Squad don't have their initiator. They don't have Clockwork. They will lose this melee racks unless they do something really strange right now, but The Aegis is going to be reclaimed as soon as Tron takes the Raxes, now looking for King R. Glimmer Cape's still on this Rubik, so he will be forced out of this area immediately, but Clockwork's now back, and Windex stuck in the enemy base. He will get out of there as Barash is going to throw more Sleights of Fist. Here comes Tron, here comes the Echo Slam onto 2. Can they burst down this Luna? Again, she has no BKB. Necroman finally get the Sonic Wave out, but it's not going to be enough to save her life, and ZXC will go down to the end. Tron with the BKB, not taking any much damage, but now he's going to lose the BKB, now still going for the Clockwork. He's still not taking any damage because all Sqreen Squad's damage dealers have dropped. It's GG to be called, and Necroman will be the first one to tap out. 26-27, Yell Submarine bring this game back from a 7,500 gold, 5,000 experience advantage. Great comeback from them.
Yeah, really solid play. Great defensive Echo Slams coming out from the Miroshka Earthshaker, and they were down 9-1 9 minutes into this game. As you mentioned, 7,500 gold lead, sub 15 minutes, so extremely well played from them. I think the Midas pickup on the Viper really helped them translate into that mid game and help him get a level advantage, and also the Orchid pickup on the Queen of Pain a little underwhelming for me.
It was just a couple of sloppy plays from the Sqreen squad that really costed them their lead. So they got off to a really good start. If they can somehow hold on to it for the next game, then we could see a much more even best of 3. But for right now, Yell Submarine a game up. This is an upper bracket game, guys, so there's no elimination on the line just yet. Just lower bracket is going to be in one of these two teams' future. But I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by more Rage Please. Hope you enjoyed the cast. We'll be right back for Game 2 between Yell Sub and Sqreen Squad.